Thanks, Minister, for taking this debate. It relates to the Killester, Raheny, Clontarf Educate Together School, which has been given sanction for opening in September of this year after a long campaign. In fact, it's a year since I held a public meeting myself in Clontarf, trying to get a campaign going, and as a result of the patronage competition, shall we call it, Educate Together came out on top, and an announcement was made that the school would open in September of this year, and many parents are delighted to hear that. However, slightly perturbed by the news that it will be a one-stream school as opposed to the two-stream Educate Together School, which is also sanctioned for Dublin 13 Howth. However, in that period of time around the campaign and after the campaign, parents have been asking where the school obviously will be located, and the catchment area for the school is quite defined. It borders the Malahide Road, the Clontarf Road and the Kilbarrack Road. So within that section we were assuming that the school would be housed. What actually has happened is that two solutions have been found in the one area in Suttonian's rugby club outside the catchment area. Both new Educate Together primary schools are going to be housed together. Now, it smacks to me of a lazy decision by the department to find a solution, to find one solution for Dublin 13, Educate Together, and put it in Suttonians temporarily. That's understandable, but also to lump the other Educate Together school in there outside of its catchment area doesn't, to me, make any sense at all. And what's happened now is that the very momentum behind the school has been undermined, because parents who live in Clontarf or Raheny or Killester who are intending to send their children to the school don't really fancy the idea of going all the way out to Sutton and back, and have since withdrawn their children's names from the enrolment of the school. Now, I want to give you some background to this. There have been numerous attempts to establish a multi-denominational school in the Clontarf area and the communities around Clontarf, going back probably 30 years. And they've all been unsuccessful. Schools have ended up in Glasnevin, they've ended up in Marino, they've ended up in North Bay and Kilbarrack. There's never been a successful campaign until this one. And now we find that the very location of the school is going to be outside the catchment area. So what I'm saying to you, Minister, is that the department needs to re-engage with the process to find a temporary location which is within the catchment area. It shouldn't be that difficult to do that. I think they've made a lazy decision in order to locate it in Suttonian's Rugby Club alongside the other Educate Together school. The starting up of a school and the ethos that surrounds it and the momentum around that school is so important in the early days. And now we find a number of parents who are very disappointed. First of all, that it's a one-stream school, so it's difficult to get into school in the first place. And secondly, if they are afforded the place, they now discover that they have to travel all the way to Sutton and back, which from Clontarf to Sutton is about a 14-kilometre return trip, which I don't think is reasonable for parents to drive infants to Sutton and back just to access multi-denominational education. So, Minister, I'm asking for you to engage with your department to halt the idea that the Suttonians is the final decision in terms of the temporary location of Killester, Raheny, Clontarf Educate Together, to re-engage with the process to find a temporary location within the catchment area and to ensure that the school gets off the best possible start.
Thank you. Minister.
Very much, Senator, for raising this matter, and it gives me an opportunity to set out for the Seanad the position with regard to the temporary site at Killester, Raheny, Clontarf Educate Together School. As the Senator will be aware, the Government announced plans in April 2018 for the establishment of 42 new schools over the next 4 years, that's from 2019 to 2022, including a new 8-classroom primary school to be established in the Killester, Raheny, Clontarf school planning area, which will open in September 2000 in suitable interim accommodation pending delivery of the permanent school. The Department appointed a project manager in July 2018 to assist with the work of prioritising the procurement of interim accommodation for the school, which will be opening in 2019. Numerous locations within the school planning area were considered in relation to the interim accommodation for the school, but could not be secured due to the lack of suitability, availability or prohibitive zoning issues. Therefore, in order to ensure that the school could open in September 2019, as announced, it was necessary to look for interim accommodation in adjoining school planning areas. On the 15th of March 2019, a planning application was submitted to Fingal County Council for a location at Suttonians Rugby Club, John McDowell Memorial Grounds, Station Road, Sutton, Dublin 13 D13 AH 97. The notification of decision to grant planning permission was issued by the local authority on the 2nd of May 2019. The new primary school will open in September 2019 in suitable interim accommodation pending delivery of its permanent building. In relation to the school's permanent location, potential site options within the school planning area have been identified and are currently being assessed. I thank the Senator for giving me this opportunity to outline to the Seanad the position with regard to the interim accommodation for the new Killester, Raheny, Clontarf Educate Together primary school to be established in September 2019.
Brief supplementary, Senator, if you wish.
Minister, this is probably one of the most disappointing responses I've gotten, and I've raised quite a number of issues in relation to the education sphere which government ministers and generally have a reasonable interaction, but this is probably the most disappointing. I have a two-page answer here, of which one sentence sheds any light on the issue. Numerous locations in the school planning area were considered in relation to the interim accommodation for the school, but could not be secured due to lack of suitability, availability or prohibitive zoning issues. So, are you saying to me now, Minister, that residents who have engaged in this process, who have campaigned, who have pre-enrolled their children, are just stuck with Sutton for the next number of years? Is that just the way it's going to be? Is this the end of the matter? Can the matter be reopened? I'm not overly enthusiastic by the response I've gotten. I want to know from you, can you impress on the Minister, Senior Minister and indeed on the Department that you are completely undermining the validity of this entire project by insisting on parents to take a 14-kilometre round trip to go to Sutton, which is outside the catchment area of the school, which has been allocated for that area. And I don't accept that the Department has gone out of its way to find suitable, available or the zoning issues, because it seems to me is that they found one answer for Dublin 13. They've decided that there's the same answer for Killester, Raheny, Clontarf. To me, it's a lazy decision, and I think it needs to be revisited. And I think I would expect, to be honest, Minister, an awful lot of a better response from a department if they were genuinely taking this matter seriously.
Minister.